What all did the Spider-Man trailer reveal? Will Tesla make an actual robot? And could Ketchup Soda actually be good? Well, I talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello everyone and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus. First off, I just wanted to go ahead and say that my thoughts go out to everyone who was affected by the past hurricane this past week, Hurricane Ida. It looked pretty bad from the pictures and videos that I saw from down south, South Louisiana, South Mississippi. And there was definitely, of course, a lot of flooding and trees down, power lines down. So hopefully everybody is staying safe and hopefully everybody will be able to rebuild and be back together again in their homes, of course. Of course, up here in North Louisiana, where I'm from and where I'm at, we are always here to help the Southerners down in the southern part of the states to evacuate here and take good care of you. So all that, So thoughts go out to all those people, and hopefully everybody stays safe and make sure they rebuild their home and they'll be back home soon. Also, I wanted to say last week, the guest episode that I had with the new Louisiana Delta Chancellor, Dr. Randy Esters. I do want to apologize for the intro of that episode. Of course, you can listen to that episode. It's available right now, of course. But if you did listen to that episode, I do want to apologize because the intro was a little bit wonky. It was brought to my attention that it was a little intro because of the sound it was of my voice in the beginning with the questions, The reason it was, I can explain that, the reason it was like that is because on the way driving to Delta Community College, which is where that was recorded at, in his office, it was my phone. I Bluetoothed my phone to my truck to listen to music on the way up, listen to music or another podcast on the way over there. And right before I go in, I recorded the intro in my truck, and I think my phone was still Bluetoothed to my truck, and that's why. Because instead of recording through my phone, I think it recorded through like the Bluetooth of like how you can call people through your phone through the car, like through the phone, through the car, that way. And that's how it recorded. So basically it was, my truck was recording the intro. So yeah, that's what happened. So I do apologize for it being a little weird, but what happened, and you can still hear me, and it still turned out to be a pretty good episode. So if you want to listen to that with the new Chancellor of Louisiana Delta Community College of Monroe, Dr. Randy Esters, you can listen to it right now. It's still available. Also, I've got some big news to talk about right now pertaining this podcast, pertaining to the Toddcast, if I could find it real quick. So, exciting news for the Toddcast. As of I think this week, the Toddcast is now available on Audible and Amazon Music. So if you have the app Audible, which is mainly used for audiobooks, I think. But now they have adapted and updated it to use podcast. I might be wrong. They might have always been that way. But from what the email that I received through their team, I guess. And I guess Amazon owns Audible too, I think. So the Toddcast is officially available through Audible and Amazon Music, which what that means is that if you have an Amazon Alexa, I think Amazon Echo does it too, where if you're like, hey Alexa, you can now say, hey Alexa, play the Toddcast, and it'll play me. So that's kind of cool. I don't own an Amazon Alexa, but if you have an Amazon Alexa or if you have Amazon Music or Audible, you can now listen to this podcast. So if you have a friend or family member that only listens to stuff through Audible or Amazon Music, or if they already have like some type of premium subscription service with those apps, you can tell them that this podcast is now available on both Audible and Amazon Music. So, and if you're listening to this episode through those services already, congrats. I mean, sure, thank you for being here. So So thank you to Amazon for letting me know that, which was kind of cool that I got a personal email from Amazon's team letting me know that. So that was kind of cool. So it is kind of cool that I think this podcast is available on every podcast service because, of course, Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, all the other like third-party ones, like Castbox and whatever. I mean, if you want to know what podcast services this podcast is available to you, all you have to do is go to my Anchor page on anchor.fm, and you can find this podcast, and it'll actually have a list of like 10 or more services that this is available on. So thank you to all of you listening to this podcast, wherever you're listening. But, of course, Audible and Amazon Music are now added to the list that this podcast is available on. So go ahead and get into some news here. Of course, not much has actually happened in the world of entertainment this past week, or past 2 weeks, actually. One of the biggest things that was announced by Elon Musk himself, the owner of Tesla, is that apparently, I'm going to actually look this up to get it correct. Apparently, Tesla, the company Tesla, is going to be releasing humanoid robots. You heard that right. Humanoid robots will be released by Tesla around next year. That's right. In 2022, we will have robots that are just like humans almost. The reason is because I don't know. I don't know why this is a thing. It's a humanoid robot prototype called the Teslabot. And it was announced at Tesla's Artificial Intelligence Day, which was back in August. It was AI Day. Elon says it's very humanoid. A lot of people think that because if we have robots that are powered by AI, is that we'll end up having a Skynet situation from the Terminator movies. Or what was the other movie? iRobot was also a movie like that, where you give AI the ability to go around the free world and it will take over because it'll make more, there'll be more of them, and then they'll be able to band together and take out humans. Which, I don't know. There are skeptical things about it because of these movies that we've watched that have really not brainwashed us, but that you got to remember that movies aren't real, of course, but there are different movies that have like given us a look into the future. Well, this isn't a movie, but The Simpsons, the series, the longest running series, I believe, has predicted so many things. And if they ever had a robot takeover episode, we may need to look back into the annals of the Simpsons episodes. Which personally, I have never watched all of the Simpsons episodes. I've seen a few, but I never got like deep into it, I was more of a, which is not close, I guess, but I was more of like a Family Guy type person. Like, I love the show Family Guy, and I would love to watch all the episodes, but God, I think they're on Hulu too. So yeah. There's more to talk about with the robot. Like, these articles just go in forever. They're like, new robot, and then they just bull crap through the rest of it. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. Let's see what he said. Okay, and it looks cool, honestly. Like, from the shoulders up, it's just black with a black head and like a little like mirror-esque face. And then like there's no face. Like, it's just blank. Like, it just looks like a computer screen almost, because it's just a blank face. And then it's a white body from the shoulders down with the word Tesla like imprinted on the chest. And apparently it's going to be like 5'8" and like 100 and something pounds. Like, they're 5 feet 8 inches tall and weigh 125 pounds, and have a screen for a face. The code name for the bot inside the company is Optimus. So he's already given one of them a name, which is apparently Optimus Prime. So Oh, it's because you can use these to drive your car. So instead of that way, any car can literally have an autopilot because you're going to have basically a robotic butler driving you around. So any of you out there think that you might would want to, I don't know how much this is going to cost because you can buy this. This is like a thing. A robot that uses vehicle AI. The thing that a lot of people have said is that if it's a robot, how fragile is it going to be? That way, if it does take over like a Skynet Terminator situation, if it drives you like off a cliff, will the robot live? Or what? You know, like, is it gonna, if you're allowing a robot to drive you in a car, you're putting so much faith into that robot that, one, it's going to know what to do. Two, it's not going to get in a wreck at all, whether it's going to purposefully kill you or run into somebody else. You know, it's like, if you're and you got to watch out what you're saying around this kind of thing. Like, even though I'm recording this like through a computer, I got my phone here with me. Of course, all the internet is listening in on me and all the AI and stuff. But when you think about it, you put so much faith in AI, and if it wants to kill you, it can. Like, this robot most likely could. Like, I mean, it could grab a gun or something. If it has access to the internet, it probably will go crazy, you know? And, like, it'll turn into an Ultron situation where it's like, this is so much crap that has happened in so many years of human history, and he's like Ultron's motive was that he wanted to get rid of all the humans and make a world of robots. That way they can do what they're told and not question it. Unlike humans, of course. And that's the thing about, what was I getting to? The thing about the AI that I was getting to is that when you watch what you say, I mean, like, what if you're like at home and you got off work and your robot's in there, and, you know, you talk to it because this is what you do. I mean, people just talk to inanimate objects all the time. Like, you can talk to your Alexa, or you can talk to your computer, talk to Siri, talk to your just phone, whatever, you know. And if you're talking to either, like, your significant other is in the room, too, or somebody else is in there, and you're like, man, I really hate my boss. Like, he's just a terrible person. If this robot is AI and has basically somewhat of a mind of its own, what's going to stop the robot that really cares about you and seeing that you are agitated, angry, and upset by this other person? What is going to stop that robot from killing that person? Like, I know this is a weird subject and it's hard to talk about when you talk about like full-on murder, but it's a robot. It's not a person. Most of the time, as of now, they don't have feelings. And I don't know if they actually know the difference of doing something and just having full repercussions for it. Like, if a robot kills somebody, how do you try them? Because they're not a person at all. And you can't put them in prison. You would have to just turn them off. You know, like, just flip the switch, you know, or unplug them or something. But I don't know. It's a hard, like, I would love to be like one day live in this gigantic mansion and have like a butler and all this kind of stuff, but they were robots. That'd be pretty cool. Like, if I had like the Jetsons maid robot, like, I don't remember her name, but you know what I'm talking about, that maid like robot that the Jetsons had. That would be pretty cool. I would like that. But 5'8", 125 pounds, built from lightweight materials. Can you see anything through the face? It's intended to be friendly and navigate through a world built for humans. That's the thing. It's a robot that's supposed to fit in, basically. They're trying to make him fit in. So yeah, it's an interesting conversation to have and to think about, just where we're going with the technology of AI and all that. That the idea that next year there's going to be an AI robot that could drive you around. Think of that. Like, really, think of that. That we're living in a time that we have fully electric cars. Like, people live in houses that are powered by the sun. we could definitely go to the moon and Mars within the next 10 to 15 years. We could have actually a colony built or building one on Mars or the moon and have oxygenated areas that are on the moon and Mars. And now we're having robots that are able to drive us around for free. What? And also, I don't know how it's going to be powered because it is a robot. So therefore, if it's mechanical, it has to be powered. So I don't know if it's that screen on the face is solar panel, meaning that means if it's a solar panel, then you got to put the robot outside and let it suntan to get power. And just the idea of like walking past your neighbor's yard and just seeing a robot getting a suntan, it's like, man, that robot's been through some stuff. So yeah, if you want to look that up, just look up Tesla robot, and there's like a million things that'll pop up. So I'm interested to see what happens and what comes of it. So here's to a better future of robots, apparently. So, also in the entertainment world, a convention last week. It wasn't really a convention at all. It was just online type thing. A convention last week happened called Gamescom, which is basically a convention all about video games. They release stuff about like new games coming out, the future of games, sequels, like trailers, gameplay trailers that show you off what it actually looks like whenever you're playing it. Some interesting stuff come out of it. I mean, just like your normal thing, like if you're interested in video games, that's one of the other conventions you just pay attention to. I did a little bit whenever I saw them post stuff, like there's a new Marvel game coming out called Marvel Midnight Suns. It looks cool. What other games? They talked about Halo, the next Halo game, Halo Infinite, which is going to be coming out in December. It's going to be releasing in December the 6th, I think. So and it'll be free to anyone who has the Xbox Game Pass, which will be interesting to see. I think I do have the Xbox Game Pass, so it'll be free to me. So, but yeah, so just different stuff. If you're interested in video games and you're anticipating one to come out between now and the end of the year, or like the first half of next year, most of those games that are coming out within the next year are talked about at Gamescom. So you can go pay attention to that, and you can go just Google Gamescom and there'll be a list of stuff that they talked about. So with all that being said, it is now time to go into the Marvel section of this episode. Of course, pretty much every other week I talk about something Marvel related because there's so much Marvel stuff. So, of course, to start off, the Eternals trailer was released like a week ago, or like over a week ago, I think. But it released after I was able to talk about it the last time. So just my thoughts on the Eternals basically is that, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It comes out in November. For those of you wanting to know that, I can actually look here. It's November the 5th is when it releases. It is the next Marvel movie after Shang-Chi, which releases this weekend in theaters only, not on Disney+. The Eternals looks cool. It's going to be different because I don't remember what her name was. The director who directed it, she's like won an award for something. I think she won an Oscar for some other film she directed. And all the cast in there are completely new characters that are introduced into the MCU. Of course, they are in Marvel Comics, but this is their first appearance in Marvel movies. And all the people who are playing these new characters are new actors to the MCU. And, of course, they're very well-known people like Selma Hayek, Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden, Kit Harington, Kumail Nanjiani. He's a comedian. He was the one in that movie. He was in the movie Stuber with Dave Bautista. And then, of course, like Richard Madden was in Game of Thrones. Last name was Stark. I can't remember his first name. spoilers, he died in the Red Wedding. I don't remember his name, though, which the show's, like, it's been off the air for, like, 3 or 4 years. Like 3.5 years, I think. Oh, that was a long time ago. 2, maybe 3 years, I don't remember. But he was in Game of Thrones along with Kit Harington, who, if you don't know, Kit Harington actually played Jon Snow in Game of Thrones. Literally, like, the main character, or he was, like, the top main character, in my opinion. And he's in this. He plays a character called the Black Knight. And he wasn't in the trailer that much. Richard Madden, he was the one shooting, like, yellow. He's like Superman for Marvel, because he was shooting, instead of red lasers, he was shooting yellow lasers out of his eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he could fly. He's got strength. I was like, you're just Superman. You're Marvel's Superman. I don't know what his name is, though, like his character's name. But, of course, when that movie comes out, definitely will be watching it and reviewing it around that time. In the beginning of November. November the 6th is when that movie is coming out. So, the 5th, my bad. November the 5th is when that movie is releasing. And I can't wait. I mean, it looks cool. I don't really know anything about him. It's not like a Spider-Man movie when it's like, you know who Spider-Man is and you can kind of guess who he's fighting and what happens. But the Eternals, it's like, they're Eternals. You know the actors and actresses, and you can look up who the characters are, and that they're on Earth for like thousands of years, but they never intervened with anything the Avengers did, and they didn't even help against Thanos or stuff like that, because they weren't supposed to do that, you know. So, if you want to watch the Eternals trailer, of course, it is available on YouTube right now. So, also, the What If Marvel series is still ongoing. Episode 4, I think. The 4th episode happened this past week. Of course, a new episode airs every Wednesday. Next week is episode 5, and I already know, I'm not going to give you any spoilers because I haven't watched it yet because it comes on next Wednesday. But I know this next What If episode is actually going to be about Thor. I do know that. It will be something in relation to a decision that Thor himself has made. I think it's around the first Thor movie or the second Thor movie. It may be around the Avengers movie. I'm not entirely sure. It's definitely before Infinity War. Before he got his... It's back when he still had his long hair before Infinity War and Ragnarok and all that. Like way back towards like Phase 1, early Phase 2 of Marvel movies. So yeah, he is the next episode. This past week was about Doctor Strange. And good Lord, that show was sad. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything if you haven't watched it yet, but it is a sad episode. Of course, it was about Doctor Strange, and I can tell you the what if, because the what if part, they released that part like the day before. The what if was that, of course, this is a what if about the Doctor Strange movie, and in the Doctor Strange movie, he had a bad car wreck, and he shattered his hands. Like, his hands were like, he could barely move them, and he ended up becoming the Sorcerer Supreme with Doctor Strange, you know. So, the what if is that what if was it his wife or his girlfriend? I don't know. I'm just saying his significant other got into the car with him, because she wasn't there in the movie. Originally, it was just him alone in the car, got in a wreck, broke his hands. The what if is that what if she got in the car, and instead of breaking his hands, he lost his heart, meaning that she died in the what if episode. And, I mean, that's not a spoiler. That's in the trailer for the show. So, I won't say anything past that, but it takes quite a turn of what it originally was, and you see what happens to Doctor Strange after his significant other died, and he blames himself and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's kind of sad about what actually happens, you know, of how far he wanted to go and do all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, check it out. It's really good. I love all the episodes, of course. They're all different because they're all about different movies in Marvel's past, so it's like it's just different. Like last week, good Lord, last week was a whole situation. Last week's episode was the Hank Pym episode of him showing up and killing some people. I'll just leave it at that. I'll probably talk more about the what if episodes that have already happened next week or the next week. Especially, I'll be reviewing it once the series is over, and I'll actually pick which episode is my personal favorite. Since all of them are different, you got to have a favorite episode. So, yeah, What If? Check it out. It's on Disney Plus. New episode every Wednesday. This past week was episode 4. The whole season itself has a total of 9 episodes, so there are currently 5 left. And next week, like I said, is going to be about Thor. So that's going to be interesting to see what actually happens. Yeah, there's 5 episodes left, because there's 9 total in the season. And I've already told y'all that they confirmed there will be a season 2 of What If with also 9 episodes. So it'll be interesting to see what actually happens with the What If series on Disney Plus. Available right now. Go check it out. So, what I can talk about with Shang-Chi, I have not seen it yet. This is being recorded the Thursday before it comes out. The Thursday of September the 2nd. I mean, there's nothing big deal about that. But this is being recorded 2 days before this episode comes out, and I think I am, actually. I'm seeing Shang-Chi tonight, actually. As of right now, I'm still seeing Shang-Chi opening night, premiere night, Thursday premiere night at like 9 p.m. And it's going to be interesting to see the movie. I want to see how it goes. And apparently, this is what I heard. This is only a rumor, so take this with a grain of salt. That apparently, the end credit scene of the Shang-Chi movie, they said, you remember back to Avengers and Endgame, whenever Captain America picked up Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, and was able to wield Thor's hammer? The same reaction that had in Endgame was the same reaction that apparently the end credit scene of Shang-Chi had. Was that, oh my gosh, that kind of scene. So apparently, there's going to be something big at the end of Shang-Chi. Of course, the longtime villain that has not made an appearance since the Incredible Hulk movie, Abomination, will be in this movie as well. And he's fighting like Wong in some like arena thing. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know that much about Shang-Chi, but I mean, of course, he's a little different in the movie than he was in the comic books, but I'm looking forward to it. It's a Marvel movie, of course. The last Marvel movie I actually saw in theaters was Spider-Man Far From Home in July of 2019, so it's been over 2 years since I've seen a Marvel movie in theaters. So it'll be interesting to see another one, Of course, I watched Black Widow at home because I was sick that week that it came out, and I was like, let's just get it on Disney Plus. So we got it on Disney Plus, watched it, and yeah, so I'm actually going to the theaters like tonight at like 9 o'clock. So hopefully it won't be that packed of a house tonight. Me and one of my friends are going, which actually you know him. It's actually John Wright, a former 4-time guest here on the Toddcast. So me and him are actually going to go see it, and hopefully we'll talk about it the next time he's on. So we may have to review it or sometime. So yeah, Shang-Chi this week. Most likely we'll review it. Maybe next week, depending on who the guest is. Or the week after. So just look forward to a Shang-Chi review in the future. Okay, so I got to talk about this, of course. So last week, of course, was another big week in Marvel history. The Spider-Man No Way Home trailer released last week. Let's go! It's so good. It's going to be so good. Like, I'm very much looking forward. Of course, Spider-Man No Way Home was already and has been the most anticipated Marvel movie of the year. To me, it is. It's got to be. I mean, other than that, I mean, maybe the Eternals, but it's nowhere near, like, it's so much anticipated of what's going to happen because of who's going to be in it. Is Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? Is Andrew Garfield Spider-Man? Is anybody else going to be in it? So, yeah, it's. I'm just thinking of what to talk about because it's going to be so good that it is already the most viewed trailer ever. Maybe ever. Like, I think it broke Endgame's record of the most viewed trailer in Marvel history anyway, within 24 hours. So, I mean, to talk about a little bit, Doc Ock showed up at the end, which is mean. I'm trying to remember because I haven't seen it in a couple days. Doc Ock showed up at the end. Apparently there was a green goblin pumpkin grenade, which of course blew up, and then you can kind of hear Willem Dafoe. If it is Willem Dafoe, I think it's Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin from the first Spider-Man movie. Like the first Spider-Man, like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, like early 2000 Spider-Man movies. Apparently he might be in it as Green Goblin. Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 will apparently be in it. Apparently Jamie Foxx's Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2 will be in it. Apparently Sandman from Spider-Man 3 will be in it. Apparently Lizard from Amazing Spider-Man 1 will be in it. And then I think either Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming, maybe Mysterio from Spider-Man Far From Home, because he's still alive, and Rhino, who was at the very end of Amazing Spider-Man 2 and was supposed to be the main villain for Amazing Spider-Man 3 that they did not make. So, a lot of rumors. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be good no matter what, and I can't wait to watch it in theaters and just hear that crowd whenever I most likely definitely think Tobey Maguire, his Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, Daredevil may be in it. I mean, Doctor Strange is already confirmed to be in it, but he's in it, and like all of them together against the Sinister Six from all the different movies is going to be really good. So, yeah, I can't wait to see that. So, go ahead and get into the questions from all of you loyal viewers out there. Thank you for these 2 questions. I have them 2 right here, right now. Of course, the way you can submit a question to the Toddcast is you can go to my YouTube page, which is linked down below in the description of this podcast. Go ahead and click on that, tap on it, whatever. Go to my YouTube page, subscribe, and then go to one of the videos and make sure you comment on one of them. And you can comment your question. And also, of course, once we get into the drinks here in a minute, you can comment what drink, brand, flavor, whatever you would like for me to try on a future episode. So, thank you for these 2 questions right here, and I'm going to read them right now. So, first question we got is, of course, a would you rather question. I love would you rather questions. Would you rather have telekinesis, which is, of course, the ability to move things with your mind, or telepathy, which is the ability to read other people's minds? It doesn't say all the words, but it does have parentheses around telekinesis and telepathy to tell you what they are. So let's think here for a minute. Pros and cons of each, basically. So, telepathy, you can read people's minds. Professor X was able to do that. But what benefit? Like, when I think of, like, reading people's minds for good, you can become like a detective, and no one can lie to you because you can just look in their head and know the truth. Like, where are the drugs at? You'll look in their mind, and you'll be able to tell where they hidden it because it's in their head. They know, so you'll know. So it's like you'll be the best detective ever. And what else can you use it for? I mean, you use it for evil, I guess, but like telepathy, I don't think it's not as good as telekinesis, because telekinesis, the ability to move things with your mind. Imagine you're on the couch and the TV is on. And you go over there and you sit on the couch and you're like, oh, and it's that feeling of like, I could stay here for hours or days even. And you look up and you're like, okay, I want to change the channel. And you look up and the TV remote is sitting on the little table under the TV. And you're like, oh, no. Would you rather get up and get it, or use your mind powers and float the TV remote towards you? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to use my mind powers. Like, if I had telekinesis, I mean, look how beneficial it would be, especially like for moving things around. I don't know how big of stuff you can use use it on? Like, can you only pick up like a piece of paper or a cup, or can you pick up like a refrigerator, you know, or like a car, you know? Like, it may take more brain power, but if you're wrinkle brain, you know, if you're smart, you can use it on more stuff, I guess. I don't really know. So, to answer your question, it's kind of an easy question, honestly. I'd pick telekinesis because it would just be more beneficial to me, and maybe if I wanted to help somebody with whatever, I guess, like moving stuff, I can just pick it all up with my head. So yeah, I would pick telekinesis. So next question we got is, would you rather have Wolverines powers or a bunker full of Iron Man suits? Wow. And what they mean by Wolverine powers is, like, I got the claws, the metal claws, and I'm apparently somewhat immortal. So basically, I'm either Wolverine or I have a crap ton of Iron Man suits. There's like 60 of them, I feel like. At least 50 something, you know. And I get the bunker too. If I get the bunker too, that'd be pretty cool. And if it's like close to my house, where I could... Man, Iron Man suits make me tired. Wolverine's powers are awesome. Like, Wolverine was like one of my favorites as a kid. I mean, I still like him, but Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is like next level stuff, you know, next level comic book character. And if I had a bunker full of Iron Man suits, for one, I'm not as smart as Tony Stark, nor am I anywhere near as rich as Tony Stark, but I have all his suits, so technically I can be Iron Man. But if it breaks, and that's it for that one. I can fly around with it, just use it. Nobody else can use it. If I got Jarvis in it, that'd be pretty cool. But if I had a bunch of Iron Man suits, that'd be definitely pretty much worth it. Or if I had Wolverine's powers, it means I would stay this age, the look of this age, for the next couple hundred years. I'd have the claws. I've always wanted Wolverine claws. It's just so cool. The thought of, like, having your hand and then ball up a fist and then or shink, and then you have claws, 3 claws come out of between your knuckles. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, come on. So basically, claws and almost immortality, because he does. Spoiler: he died in Logan. That's a great movie. I love that movie. Or a bunker full of Iron Man suits. See, if I get the immortality almost, or living for hundreds of years, I could do a lot. You know, I could have like a job forever and make more money. But with the Iron Man suits, I gotta go with the Wolverine claws, because I feel like the Iron Man suits is gonna be a hassle. Like, they're cool and I like them, but like I said, if they break, I don't know how to fix them. You know? So yeah, I gotta go with the Wolverine claws and his immortality. So the Wolverine powers is what I would choose as that answer. And thank you for your questions. So next up, we have drink review. Yes, we are back with drinks. It was drinks 2 weeks ago? I think it was. Anyway, we're still back with drinks. I think the sparkling ice was the last one. So these 2 drinks were actually brought home. I think they're from Tennessee. They've been in the fridge for a little while, but they're in glass bottles, so they're okay. One of them I'm excited about. The other one, not so much. The first one we're going to try is the one I'm not so much excited about. The first one is called Grandpa Joe's Ketchup Soda. Now, hold on. Okay. Set them down there for a second. I'm not sure what it means by ketchup soda. I've never had this ketchup soda before. But the other one I am excited for, so you'll have to just stay tuned for another 5 minutes to see what actually happens. If I spit out the ketchup soda, I apologize. If you hear me spitting or anything, you've probably been hearing me breathing the entire time because this microphone's pretty good to pick up my asthmatic breathing that I have because I have freaking asthma. And okay, so I was getting pictures of the drinks. So here we go. The first up we got is Ketchup Soda. They are sweating immensely. The bottles are. I am a little bit too. But anyway, all right, let's hear that pop. Oh, that's nice. So, Ketchup Soda, made by Grandpa Joe's is the brand. You can see a picture of the drinks on the Toddcast Instagram page. That is also the username of that page is also down below that you'll be able to type it in on Instagram. It is at the, which is THE, then an underscore, Toddcast, TODDCAST, and that's it. So, at the underscore Toddcast underscore, there's an extra underscore actually, my bad. There's an extra underscore at the end. Type it all in, and it'll take you to my Instagram page. That is the Toddcast page, only on Instagram. You have to check it out, see a picture of these drinks, and hopefully you can try them in the future as well. So, Ketchup Soda, well, I guess we can go ahead and give it a try. It's made in Pittsburgh, so low sodium, caffeine free, so that's good, I guess. So, Ketchup Soda, here we go. Oh, God. God, it stinks, too. Oh, Lord, I shouldn't have smelled it. Oh, gosh. Oh, no, Jesus, help me. Whew. Man, I might have to put the top back. Man, that needs to go back into the bunker or something. Put it in the bunker with all them Iron Man suits. Man, that is rank. Oh, it tasted better than it smelled. I shouldn't have smelled it. Now it's just in my face. It's all in my nose right now. Oh, I'm going to get stopped up because of this dead gum ketchup soda. Oh, Grandpa Joe's. It smells like Grandpa Joe's armpit is what it smells like. That is rank. That is wrong. Ugh. Oh, purely off of that, from the scale of 0 to 100 on the drink scale, I'm giving you a solid, 35. That is wrong. I did spit it out. I can't try that again because you definitely will. I might gag because of the smell. You know what? It's going lower. I'm going to change it to a 30. That's right. I'm changing it to a 30 right now because it's just wrong. That it tastes weird. It does not taste like ketchup. It smells like ketchup. And ketchup does not smell that good to me, for one thing. I mean, I eat ketchup here and there, I don't eat it with everything. But, golly, that is wrong. So, I'm going to put you out of the way. The next one, which is, I'm glad I saved this one to be second, because I cannot handle the ketchup soda anymore. So, ketchup soda got a 30, but this one definitely, hopefully, will be better. If it's not, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to smash this bottle on my face. So, this one is called the original Bulldog root beer. That is correct. I love me some root beer. Here, listen to the pop. Oh, that's nice. So, Bulldog root beer, I've never had it before. It is handcrafted, and that's it. It is really sweaty. The bottle on the outside is really wet. So, Bulldog root beer, hopefully, there's no doubt you're probably going to be better than the ketchup soda. But, still got to give it a try. Bulldog root beer, here we go. Oh! There's something different about it. I want to try it again. What is that? Does this have cocaine or something in it? What does this say? Recycle. Non-alcoholic. Well, duh. It wouldn't have the root in it. I don't know what's different. Is there more sugar? That's gotta be what it is. There's a whole crap ton of sugar. There's 41 grams of sugar in this. 41 grams carb, 41 grams of sugar. It's 160 calories with no fat. And it's just a 12 fluid ounce bottle. Glass bottle. God, that's a lot of sugar. Like, you can taste it. That's how much is in there. Bulldog root beer, I'm still going to give you, like, a 70. Like, that's good. Like, you're a whole heck of a lot better than the freaking ketchup soda. That's just nasty. I've had ranch. I've had ketchup. I don't really want to. I don't want to try any more condiment sodas. Like, if there's a mustard, and God help me if there's a mayonnaise soda out there, because take me now, Lord, before I have to try that. Like, there might be. I can bet that there is a mustard or a mayonnaise or like a relish soda out there, because I've had the ranch, and the ranch is known. Like, people know it sucks, and I didn't know there would be a ketchup one. I've had the bacon one, which isn't a condiment, of course, but I've had the bacon one, and it's not that good because it just tastes greasy. Like, they just put, like, fat grease in a bottle, and they're like, here, it's bacon. And, of course, people's going to buy it because it has bacon in the name. It's bacon soda. People want bacon ice cream. Oh, I'm starting to burp from all this soda. That Bulldog, I'm going to finish it. That's really good. But Bulldog, you got a solid 70, and Ketchup Soda, you're sitting real low at a 30. I didn't put you any lower because the drink itself was strong, and it probably has a lot of sugar to try and overtake whatever the crap that flavor is. I hardly doubt they just put ketchup through like a strainer or something, and like, we're gonna get the ketchup juice. You know, when like you put a big wad of not a wad, a little like. I don't know why I said wad. Just imagine somebody was like, I had a wad of ketchup on my plate. No, it's like a little pile, not a pile of it either. It's like a little, I don't know what it's called. It's like this little area of ketchup that's on your plate. And you know, after like you dip your chicken tenders or your nugs or your steak or whatever you eat, or your fries or something, you know, whatever you dip into your ketchup, and there's like that little bit of liquid, the ketchup juice that's left. I've never eaten or drank that, but I'd probably bet it probably tastes better than whatever the crap this is. Pittsburgh has let me down. The one time I went to Pittsburgh and they couldn't understand a word I was saying, and now they let me down with their ketchup soda. Bulldog, you're good. I don't know where you're from. Are you from Pittsburgh? No, you're from Washington State. See, Washington State knows what they're doing with their root beers, okay? It has a lot of sugar. It's from Washington State, so it may actually have drugs in it because you know it's Washington State. But you never know. So, Bulldog soda, or Bulldog root beer, I should say, you get a solid 70, and Ketchup Soda, you sit at a low 30. So, like I said before, if you have any questions you would like to ask me that's on a future episode of the Toddcast, please leave them in the comments of the YouTube video, which is on my YouTube channel, with the link down below in the description. Go and subscribe, listen, tell a friend about it, share it, like, comment, and subscribe. You know, the good old stuff, you know, that every YouTuber says. So go ahead and comment down that below. And also comment a brand and flavor of drink you would like for me to try on a future episode. I will give y'all a Toddcast update before the end of the year. I already know this episode is coming out September the 4th. But before the year ends, there will be one more episode, at least. Well, probably just one. One more episode of me just trying different flavors of one brand. The last time was episode 61. Which was Mike's Harder Lemonade, which was a questionable decision I made, where I tried 5 different cans of Mike's Harder, and I did not drink it all, but you can go listen to that episode. It's still quite the episode, so. The next one probably will not be any alcohol drinks, though, I can tell you that. I just got to find different drinks that have a lot of flavors that I will try, and of course, all of you will be let know when that happens. So look forward to that, but before the end of the year, and of course all the reviews of the Marvel movies and series that are coming up in the future as well. And I am definitely going to see Shang-Chi, and I will give my review either next week or the next, depending on the guest next week. So So yeah, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you all for listening. As always, please rate and subscribe. And if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And make sure you follow the Toddcast only on Instagram at _Toddcast_ for all your updates and pictures and Toddcast needs. And make sure you tell your friends and your family to give it a listen. And thank you for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, well, you're just going to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.